A creature of the edge. The not deer is a cryptid and folkloric phenomenon originating from the Appalachian Mountains, primarily in western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, and southwest Virginia. Unlike many older legends passed down through native or colonial traditions, the not deer is a modern myth with deep folkloric roots, one that began gaining widespread attention in the late 2000s and teens and early 2000s and 20s, especially online, through forums like Reddit and TikTok. But behind the memes and creepypasta, there's a strange pattern of reports, sightings of deer-like creatures that behave in disturbing, impossible, or unnatural ways, things that aren't quite right. Witnesses often describe something that looks like a deer but isn't, hence the name. It's not a monster, not a man, and not a deer, and somehow all three. Folkloric origins and cultural context. A. Appalachian superstition. The Appalachian region is rich in oral traditions of the uncanny, beings that mimic life but are fundamentally off. In these mountains, many stories speak of skinwalkers, borrowed from Navajo lore but often misapplied, the wampus cat, a shapeshifter, the unspoken, entities that mimic human voices or animal sounds to lure prey. Older Appalachian families often taught children not to go into the woods alone and never to follow a deer that looks back at you. B. The role of deer in myth. In European, Native American, and Celtic mythology, deer are often liminal creatures. They exist between worlds. They lead people astray, or toward revelation, or death. The not deer, whether real or imagined, reflects this uncanny threshold, like something wearing a deer as a costume. Modern sightings and witness accounts. While no official database tracks not deer encounters, hundreds of first-hand accounts have surfaced since the 2010s. They often share a core group of traits. Common characteristics: appears at night, near rural roads or forested trails. Initially looks like a large white-tailed deer. On closer inspection, eyes are facing forward, predator-like, not prey-like. Limbs bend the wrong way, or are too long or too many. Moves with jerky, mechanical, or spider-like motion. Exhibits non-deer behaviors, walking on two legs, opening its mouth far too wide, or mimicking human speech. Causes intense feelings of dread or nausea, sometimes accompanied by malfunctioning electronics, radio static, or missing time. It looked like a deer, but it watched me. Not like prey, like a person deciding something. Unnamed hiker, Blue Ridge Parkway, 2017. Notable case. Reports 1. The Blue Ridge Parkway Incident, 2017. Two university students driving a remote stretch after sunset reported seeing a deer in the road. It didn't move as they approached. Then it stood up on two legs, and they claimed it had too many joints in its legs. It tilted its head at them and grinned. When they tried to drive away, their engines stalled without explanation, and their dash cameras glitched. No physical evidence was recovered. 2. The Beach Mountain Hiker Disappearance, 2019. A solo hiker went missing for 3 days in the Pisgah National Forest. When found, disoriented but alive, he insisted he was led in circles by a deer with human eyes. He refused to return to the forest and later died by suicide. Officials attributed the behavior to dehydration-induced hallucinations, but locals called it a close call with the not deer. Natural explanations. Skeptics argue that most not deer sightings are misidentified natural phenomena, potentially explained by chronic wasting disease, CWD, a prion disease causing deer to behave erratically, lose fear of humans, stagger, drool, and appear zombie-like. Mange or deformities, Malnourished or injured deer might move abnormally, lose fur, or develop strange gaits, illusion, and pareidolia. In low light, people interpret ambiguous visual stimuli as threatening or familiar. A deer turning its head oddly might seem human. Urban myth contagion. Once a story becomes viral, more people see it. Mass suggestion, especially among younger hikers aware of the myth, may fuel the legend. However, many witnesses are local hunters or rural residents, deeply familiar with wildlife. They insist, this wasn't disease, this wasn't a deer. Paranormal and folkloric theories 1. A tulpa, or thought form. The not deer could be a modern tulpa, a creature born from collective belief, given form by fear and folklore. Second, interdimensional entity. Some theorists describe it as a predator from another dimension, able to mimic local wildlife poorly, which is why it gets deer wrong. 3. Appalachian spirit. Others believe it's a guardian or curse tied to land desecration, strip mining, or the ancient burial grounds scattered throughout the region. Government and Park Service response. There is no official documentation of a creature matching the not deer in any U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service database. However, several forest rangers have anonymously reported unusual animal behaviors and missing time. In 2021, a section of trail near Klingman's Dome was abruptly closed due to aggressive wildlife, yet no bears were logged in that zone. Some cryptid researchers believe this could be a pattern of quiet containment, similar to how certain predator attacks are minimized to prevent public panic.